coming up this week, I'm running somewhere completely different, somewhere I have never run before, and there is a very good chance I'm going to get lost. Now, the reason that I am running somewhere that I don't normally run is because I'm on holiday, and I better explain what that means. A holiday is when you venture away from home. I know, it's nuts, isn't it? You venture away from home and you stay somewhere. I know, it's crazy. You stay somewhere that you don't live. I know, it's mad. And you sort of go out and about from here. It's nuts, isn't it? Out and about, and you sort of have a bit of a mooch about, and you see places. I know, see places, crazy. And then after a while, when you've been staying there for a while, you then go home again. I know, it's just insane. But I think it is a concept that could catch on, because I'm having a wonderful time. Now, you might wonder, where have I gone? And the place that I have gone is called the North. I know it's called the North because as I was travelling up various different motorways to get here, there were lots of road signs, almost every one that said that I was going to the North. The in upper and lowercase letters, North in uppercase letters, because it's clearly very important, and they wanted to make sure that you knew exactly which direction you were going in case you thought somehow you were headed for France. I really don't know why. Every road sign, the North. But to be a little more specific than that, I have come to a place called Yorkshire. I know, and it's lovely here. For the benefit of anyone who might think that anywhere past the Watford Gap services is actually just full of savages, it's not like that at all. They have electricity up here and running water and everything. It's great, and it's actually really nice. I love travelling to different places around the country, and it's so nice to have some different scenery to look at, different places to visit, and the locals are all very friendly, I have to say, and most of them, it seems, are sheep. It does turn out, actually, as you get further north, it appears that the number of sheep seems to proportionally increase according to the narrowness of the road. So the narrower the road, the more sheep. As you can see, lots of sheep, and this road is, see, quite narrow. It's actually, it works. I'm sure there's someone somewhere could write a paper about this. Road width, proportion of sheep. I'm just sure it is like that. Anyway, enough of silliness. I am going to go for a run. There's a very good chance I'll get lost. I have actually ventured up this way already with a walk with dogs, and there's a nice kind of there's a hall up here, and it's sort of like a business park, so I hope they don't mind me running through it. And it's fairly flattish, just got to kind of negotiate my way around the sheep excrement, but that should be okay, that's all right. And see how I get on. So let's go for a run, and then I'll tell you a little bit more. In fact, we'll have a little silly chat about holidays afterwards. Let's do that, shall we? There we are, run complete. I did a 5k today. Let's stick the times up on the screen. It was just a slow one really, because it was quite undulating in places, and also you have to kind of watch out when cars come, so I'm just pulling in now, make sure I don't get run over. No, I'm all right. And I had to stop for a kissing gate, and also to go over a cattle grid. There was a gate next to it which I could have gone through, which I did on the way back. I know. But there we are. Anyway, I was going to talk about holidays. Now, this is difficult because there's so many different things that I could talk about on holidays. I've been to, I'm sure many of you have been to all sorts of places all over the globe that have been really interesting. But I have to say, I really like, if I had to pick somewhere, I love the British Isles and the island of Ireland. If I had to pick somewhere that was probably, I think, amongst the most stunning, and maybe I'm a bit biased, I don't know, but it is just lovely. I've had some cracking holidays all over the place. I tended to go abroad more when I was a bit younger, really since I got my dogs, because we don't really want to put them in kennels. So not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just a decision that my wife and I made. We don't want to do that, but that's, you know, you do what you actually, there's sort of dog sitters and things these days, aren't they? You can look after your dogs, which is great. But we like to take the dogs with us. So we get a cottage, that's what we've done for this period up here in Yorkshire. Got a lovely cottage, and the dogs come with us. And of course it does restrict you a little bit where you can go out to, but we don't mind. Go out for nice walks and pub lunches, and it's all really nice. So it's a different sort of holiday really to the ones we used to have when we used to jump on a plane, and a much lower carbon footprint, I suppose. But anyway, I'm going to tell you about one particular holiday. Speaking about the kind of British Isles, but this is actually Ireland, the island of Ireland. And we'd had a lovely, really nice holiday in Ireland before this one, and we'd gone into Cork, which is right down on the southern tip, if you know it. And we just randomly, we'd done a clockwise tour and just randomly gone and just stayed in bed and breakfast. We knew we wanted to be back in Cork after 12 days, and other than that, where we went was just in the lap of the gods really. If we found somewhere we liked, we'd stay there a bit longer. Knew we wanted to pop in at Dublin at some point. It's a really nice way to have a holiday. I've done that in a couple of places and it's really good fun actually. But this pun was a few years after that, and we decided that we were going to go back to Ireland, and this time, because we'd done the very south of the south, we thought we'll head maybe northwest so we can do that top bit, that top corner. And we stayed in Galway, in this place near Galway actually, a little peninsula. And I thought, I know what we'll do. Rather than going into Cork, I'll go up to Anglesey, get a fast ferry across to Dublin, drive across the country to Galway. Lovely job, everything will be fine. Anyway, it took a bit longer than I was expecting to get to Anglesey. And when you get to Anglesey, there's kind of this high bit that you get to as you kind of go into the little island of Anglesey. And I'm not kidding, I kid you not, they decided they were going to dig up all of Anglesey. It was roadworks as far as the eye could see. So we missed the fast ferry, had to get a slower one much later. Got into Dublin a lot later than I was anticipating, and still had to drive all the way across Ireland. So anyway, when we got to around Galway, that's sort of where the cottage, the kind of place where the cottage was supposed to be, it was late and it was dark, and we were out sort of in the middle of nowhere, and it said in the instructions that there was a sign down by the side of the road, and bearing in mind it was late at night and there were no street lights, it was pitch black. The best bet you had was to try and pick it out with your headlights, and we weren't going to do that. It just wasn't going to happen. So we're driving up and down trying to find this place, couldn't find it. Anyway, then I spotted a pub. So I pulled over, said, right, I'm going to go into this pub and ask if they know where this cottage is. So I did that, got out, went into the pub, and I am not joking, it was like something out of a film. Now, I don't like stereotypes, even though I've been banging on about the north and talking about narrow roads and sheep and all that kind of, I'm just doing it for effect, I'm doing it to have a laugh. There are places down south that have very narrow roads. It's not just up north. I mean, have you been to Devon? Some of the roads there are so narrow, you can't get a car down, you have to walk down them sideways. So, you know, that's just, you know, I'm just having a laugh, really. It's not really like that. But anyway, this, I'm afraid, is going to be a bit of a stereotype of an Irish pub, because I walked in to this Irish pub and it was a typical sort of way that you would think of one in a film. And there were sort of people sat there, clearly locals, sat there, some at the bar, some at the tables, like that. And when I walked in, there was a low mumble of chatter, which stopped instantly that the door opened, and every head turned to me in complete silence and looked at me. There was a dog on the floor, its head turned, looked at me. I swear the clock stopped ticking, just went completely silent. And I thought, well, the last thing I want to do in an Irish pub in the middle of kind of nowhere, in real island of Ireland here, I don't want to walk in and sound too English, really. It's not my fault what the English did to the Irish. It's nothing to do with me personally. I wasn't even born in England. They don't know that, so I don't want to sound too English anyway, really. So I thought, I don't want to, and I swear that the kind of voice that I spoke in, I didn't want it to be, but I swear it was along the lines of, I say, you chaps, you wouldn't mind telling me awfully where this particular cottage is. I'm having a terrible time finding it, don't you know? And I probably didn't come out like that, but in my mind, that's how it sounded. and I could tell you what, I couldn't get out there quick enough. Needless to say, they didn't want to help me. And, but I did find the cottage in the end completely by accident. That's my little island story for you there. Hope you enjoyed it. I have to say though, the Irish are so friendly and helpful. I actually got a flat tyre while I was on that holiday, right in the middle of nowhere, and I was trying to work out how to jack the car up because I hadn't had the car very long. That's when where the hell is this jacking point? These two Irish lads pulled up in a car, stopped, hopped out, said, "Oh, you having a bit of a problem now?" I said, "Oh yeah, I've got a flat." Anyway, they obviously worked at a garage or something. They opened their boot, got out this massive, great hydraulic jacked the car up, whipped the whipped the tyre off, changed it for me, and said, "Oh, there." And I wanted to give them some money just to buy themselves a pint or something to say thank you, and they wouldn't have it. They said, no, please to help out, and off they went. And that was typical of the kind of people that I met in Ireland. They were absolutely lovely. They were really, really nice. And anyway, there we go. I've talked too long. I'm going to go back to the cottage now, have a shower, and maybe go out for another run at some point during my break, because it's been quite nice to run somewhere different. So do you run on your holidays when you go out? Do you do that? I've been a little bit longer actually, because I bumped into the person who actually owns the cottage and I was having a chat with her. So I put me sweating. It's a nice look. But anyway, that's enough waffle. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this rambly video, more rambly than usual, do hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you for another update next week.